Greetings, one and all, and welcome to this math lesson. Let's consider question number 9. And question number 9 states the following. Solve the following equations. Solve the following equations. Notice that they have given us two equations. For 9a, we have an equation, and for 9b, we also have an equation. For this video, the only equation that we will be solving is the equation from 9a. So let's begin with this equation. It is indeed an equation, and the equation states the following. So we have here 7x. Now, when we see 7 and x together like this, what they really mean is they mean 7 multiplied by x. So the 7 and the x together or adjacent to each other means that they are implying multiplication. So they're saying 7 multiplied by x plus 5. 7 multiplied by x plus 5 equals 47. Equals 47. So let's write that down. Equals 47. So this is our equation. This is the equation that they want us to solve. And the natural question is, okay, what are we trying to do and how do we do it? Well, in plain English, what this is saying, give me a number, right? And we don't know what that number is, so let's call that number x, right? Give me a number, let's call it x, such that when I multiply that number by 7 and then add my product by 5, I will get 47. So let me say that again. Give me a number, let's call it x. Give me a number that when I multiply it by 7 and then add the result that I get from multiplying by 7 by 5, then I'll get 47. Again, give me a number that when I multiply it by 7 and then add that result that I get from multiplying it by 7 to 5, I get 47. And when you hear me say that, you probably can think about it yourself already, even before we actually do the working. What number, when I multiply by 7 and then add that result by 5, I would get 47. What number is that? Well, there is a systematic way of doing it. There is a proper working, and that's the way that we're going to be considering doing it. Certainly, you can think about it in your head, and I encourage you to think about it in your head and see which number works. And you will see that if you indeed did it correctly, the answer that you got will be the exact answer we get. So here's a systematic way that we're going to do it. We're going to do it by using rules of algebra. So what's the goal? What's the goal when we're using the rules of algebra? Well, the goal when using the goal when using the rules of algebra is the following. We want this x, right? We want this x to be all by itself. We want this x to be isolated. We don't want nothing else on the same side as x. And so notice that 5 is on the same side as x. And so we're going to move that over the equal sign. So let's do that. Let's move 5 over. And the reason why we're doing this is because we want x all by itself, all on a side by itself. And we want x on one side and everything else on the other side. So let's move 5 to the other side. And so now we have 47. And we have 5 because remember we moved 5 over the equal sign. Now, because it was positive 5, when we move it over the equal sign, the sign will change. And so this positive will turn into a negative. Okay? So now what we're left with on this side? Well, we took the 5 over, right? And so now we're just left with 7x. 7x. Okay, let us simplify the right-hand side some more. What is 47 minus 5? What is 47 minus 5? Well, 47 minus 5 is indeed 42. And so now we have 7x equals to 42. Remember the goal. The goal is to isolate x. The goal is to make x all by itself. The goal is to have x on one side and everything else on the other. And so remember that we said that when we have 7 and x together, the operation is multiplication when we have them side by side. So in order to remove the 7, because we need to get rid of the 7 because we want x all by itself, in order to remove the 7, because it's connected to the x by multiplication, the rules of algebra says that the way you're going to move something that's connected by multiplication is that you're going to divide it. You're going to do its opposite, basically. So the opposite, and we put that in quotation, the opposite of division is, the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide by 7 in order to get rid of it. And so we divide this side by 7, but you cannot just do it to one side. You must do it to both sides. That's how the rule states. So whatever you do to one side, you must do the other side. And so we divide by 7 on both sides. And so now, what's the next thing we're going to do? The next thing we're going to do is we actually going to cancel out. So what is 7 divided by 7? Well, 7 divided by 7. 7, we can cross out this 7. We can cross out that 7, right? Because 7 goes into itself once. And the natural question here is 42 divided by 7. What is 42 divided by 7? Well, 42 divided by 7 is indeed 6. So 42 divided by 7 is 6, and 7 divided by 7 is 1. And so now we just have x by itself. So because we cancel out these two 7s, so now we have that x is equal to 6. X equals 6. So what does this all mean, right? By getting x equal to 6, what does that all mean? How can we interpret what we mean when we say that the result is x equals to 6? Well, what this means is that if you take 6 and multiply it by 7, so remember x is equal to 6. So if you take 6 and multiply it by 7, right, and then add that result by 5, then you will get 47. And so let us check that, right? Let's check our answer of 6, right? So remember what we said, remember what this means. This means that if I take 6 and I multiply it by 7, and then I add that by 5, I should get 47. So let's check it. Let's check, see if our answer of 6 is correct. What is 7 times 6? Well, 7 times 6 is 42. And so let's add 42 plus 5. What is 42 plus 5? Well, 42 plus 5 is indeed 47. And so there you have it. The unknown number that we needed to find was indeed 6. The unknown number that, let me put that back. The unknown number, so this is, let me just put this here. This is us checking our work. This is us checking. Okay, so this is us checking our work. Okay, so the unknown number that we needed to find was 6, because when we take 6 and multiply by 7 and then add it by 5, we get indeed 47. And so that's what we mean when we say solve the equation. We mean, hey, tell us what x is. Tell us what x is. Tell us what is that number when you multiply it by 7 and then you add the result by 5, you will get 47. And indeed, that number is 6.